has come to our family.
I'm Reginald Gickington, and you can call me Reggie, and today we'll be continuing our painting journey through the miniatures of the Darkest Dungeon board game by Mythic Games. In today's video, we're finally taking the plunge and putting the Darkest Dungeon into the Darkest Dungeon board game, the first of the final bosses, the Shuffling Horror. This tormented and mutated shambling horror is covered with the pustulating flesh growths seen commonly throughout the Darkest Dungeon, and the black and pink contrast is a particularly vibrant and exciting one to paint, so let's get started. Starting from a black prime, we'll be using royal purple applied to all of the magenta flesh parts. There are two flesh colors we see on the Shuffling Horror: pink, which is a rosier and more pastel color, and magenta, which is the stronger and more vibrant tone. The purple is going to be the foundation for specifically the magenta parts, which you should look at the original game art to identify the locations of. Then we're applying Corvus Black to all the black parts, which is most of the body. This is a quick and dirty step. Don't worry if the border between your purple and black is fuzzy or spills over from time to time, since this is going to have a very organic look to it. To highlight the black areas, we're using Dark Sea Blue now, one of this channel's oldest and most reliable friends for painting dark blacks, blues, and greens. We're using Warlord Purple now, dry brushed on all of the purple parts. This color can be a bit thin, and that's actually not a huge problem here, since that's going to be a good quality that helps avoid the edge of the dry brush looking too obvious. Be sure to concentrate your dry brush on the highlight points, like big fleshy sacs and accumulations, where you can go very light on the veins. For the pink portions, we're going to base coat with Lustful Purple, which has a much more pastel lavender tone to it. That's the 6 tentacles on the head and the textured backs of the limbs. Don't forget the claws on each limb as well. For the horror's eldritch and vaguely mammiform anatomy, we're using buff applied to each of the petals on its chest. Then, for the teeth in both its mouth and the other tumorous mouths growing on its body, we're using Rakarth flesh. We're going to use Warlord Purple once again, doing some dry brushing to blend the Lustful Purple into the Dark Sea Blue on its head tentacles. You can alternatively wet blend these. I use a combination of the two effects to what I believe to be pretty decent results. Now we're going to go back and blackwash the entire miniature, which is going to help us further blend our pinks and let us push our blue highlights onto the blubbery black skin even higher. The Shuffling Horror has dozens of eyes on its body as a result of its mutations, for which we're going to use Doom Death Black and Ghost Grey. The entire eye will get the black, while a white dot in the top corner of the eye will help sell its reflectiveness. We're going to be using Lustful Purple, Dark Sea Blue, and Toxic Boils now, as highlight colors. Firstly, Lustful Purple is going to be dry brushed strongly on the pink half of each tentacle, so that they no longer have the black texture from the black wash. Then, we're going to use Toxic Boils to highlight the face tentacles, the back spines, and the claws, and a dot on every single bump on the undersides of the limbs. The Dark Sea Blue is going to be used to highlight the head and the arm, along with some of the folds in the flesh of the body. The next round of highlights is going to be Warlord Purple, highlighting a few of the crossroads in the veins, along with the particularly prominent flesh areas. Then, we're using a ring of Wraithbone in the inside ring of every chest petal. Lastly, Rakarth flesh is going to be dotted on every tooth, or for the secondary mouths that are a little too small or low detail to do each individual tooth, as a thin line along the edge of the teeth. To finish highlighting the skin, we're using a 2-to-1 mix of Dark Sea Blue and Electric Blue, dry brushed very lightly on the arm and the head, just to really sell the impact of the light. And we'll be finishing the horror the same way we finish all of our minis, with the standard base and shadows, Mechanica Standard Gray for stone, followed by Black Wash, Doom Death Black on the base rim, and Black Templar for the shadows. Just like that, we've done the shuffling horror. It looks properly awful in the best sort of way. The blubbery, leathery skin really feels like it's being corrupted and taken over by the influence of the Darkest Dungeon. And this already eldritch creature is being turned into something even it couldn't comprehend or hope to combat. We can only pray that your adventuring heroes are luckier, or better yet, have good mobility and movement skills. They will need them. Have fun painting your Darkest Dungeon miniatures, and feel free to tag me on Instagram, @ReggieGick, to show me how yours turn out. Links to my affiliated socials can be found in the description. Feel free to subscribe or like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon with another painting tutorial.